It is time for the Game Fuel Marquee match. Yo, you fired up and ready to go?
I am fired up. I love looking at London at night. It would be a beautiful romantic date, you and I, just taking
it would.
A ride on the London Eye at night. It'd be beautiful, but we got a great game, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, we've got OpTic, we've got Surge, and they're gonna battle it out to find out who's the best on this given day, and I'm looking forward to it. So many talented players across both squads, but let's look at who we're going to highlight. It is our Game Fuel feature player. It's going to be Envoy, and man, is this guy a beast. I look forward to checking out his gameplay every time he's on the map.
And he loves Game Fuel. This guy's double fisting him. You know he's going to be turned and ready for the match. But yeah, I mean, we know he's the playmaker. He's the guy taking the routes, making the smart plays, but he's the guy, 100% for OpTic at times. I think especially in Search and Destroy. If he is playing well, OpTic is a tough team to beat.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think he saw tweets after the last major that he didn't have his best event. He thought he's been really up and down from a gameplay standpoint. There were some obvious mistakes he was making, and he's just like, I got to get better. I got to put the work in. I got to look to improve and be more consistent. And I get it. I think that's one of the single biggest things that separates the great from the good. It's consistency, showing up every time you're on the game.
Yeah, and I think for Envoy, it's just a little bit different than what we saw. Well, what we see from other teams. I think in terms of like the sub duo, guys like Toronto and FaZe, right? It's that duo just sort of flying around, baiting and switching each other. And I think Envoy at times loves to play on that island and make that play. And I wonder if they've sort of gone over that. Maybe figured out a way where he can play with Scump a bit more, but still find those opportunities for him.
No, that's a great point, but let's get into it. Let's meet our squads. We're going to start it off with OpTic.
Brutal, mighty Crimsix going normal. Looking fantastic. Envoy slaying his way through. Scump up high, the king.
I'm out here doing what they thinking is irrational.
Really starting to run that score up.
I'm gonna make it back. I'm gonna make it back, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, OpTic gaming are back. Chicago are a force to be reckoned with.
It hasn't been the ideal start for this OpTic team, filled to the brim with talent, but I guess I'm wondering, is this the stage? Is this where they show up? Show they are a top team, a contender to take an entire event? Could happen now, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the majors, they've just had a couple of series where they put them at really, really tough positions. And you talk about that Minnesota Game 5 and what happened. It's tough, but yeah, I think they took that and they're going to learn from it. And they were able to beat London. And now it's just a matter of can they keep improving.
It's the work getting put in to get better and better as the season goes on. But they've got a tough test now because on the other side of this, their opponents are the Seattle Surge, a team that came off a grueling and heartbreaking loss recently against the Los Angeles Thieves. They're looking to bounce back with a vengeance. Let's meet the squad, Seattle Surge.
Lord, son! Finds himself another one!
Prestinni looking dangerous.
He's just ripping the entirety of the Guerrillas. Wow!
Aggressive is always Diamond Con head rip off. Looking to find a few more, but Gunless
Absolutely rips his way through the three of them.
249, Seattle won! Joe, obviously one of the big talking points for us was Prestinni's improvement from stage 1 to stage 2. He was so improved and it helped big time in the results for this team. Let's assume maybe we're going to get that same Prestinni. What do you think is maybe the next step for this squad to be a top contender?
Probably a little bit more consistency slaying-wise from Loony in Gunless. That's probably it for me. I think the big thing was we saw the improvement throughout stage 2, how much better they were getting. They were taking the top teams to the brim. Now it's the question of, is that going to continue to happen, or do they hit a wall?
Well, I saw all smiles there from Loony, so that's good to see heading in. But what maps are going to be heading into? Joe, this is our best of 5. Anything that jumped off the page?
Well, the last 2 series throughout stage 2, you saw Raid Hardpoint twice. OpTic, they vetoed that. Control is different. We're seeing a different control. That is one of my keys to victory for Surge. Thank the Lord, because they are 0-7 on Raid Control. We're going over to Checkmate, and one thing for Checkmate is, well, OpTic, they just lost that yesterday versus London Royal Ravens, so maybe Seattle saw something that they could take advantage of.
And I'm looking forward to the map 4 because you and I have talked a lot about OpTic, and whether it's going to be Garrison or whether it's going to be Raid for hardpoint, they were kind of going back and forth over the course of the major, and I guess we both feel, and we could be wrong, but we feel they have a really good potential to get just disgusting at Garrison. I'm gonna like to watch that hopeful improvement for them over the course of this stage.
Yeah, and I think, they played twice throughout Stage 2. Once was at the Major. I think we did see it as that Game 4, and they were able to win it. The first time it was also the Game 4, but it was a 3-0 for OpTic, so we didn't see that last time. So that's been consistent throughout their matchups versus one another. The only difference now is you're going Moscow instead of Raid, and Raid's been really solid for Seattle Surge.
Yeah, you're just not going to get that checkmate. So we'll see how it looks on Moscow and Garrison if we get that far into the series. But the opening gunfights, just quick trades for the most part. Loony then in from behind, keeps him in control of the Eskies side of the map, which is a key position in so many spots. But just headshots all over the board right now for Surge. Great start.
I mean, perfect start. You get the spawn flip right away. Envoy trying to play his life, but he is going to get chased down. He does a good job. This should allow his teammates to put pressure on the point, and they will. So Octane, he's going to have a one-on-one, but Envoy's still alive. And as our game field featured player, what a play by him. We call him the playmaker, and that is why. He plays his life. He wins the gunfight. The stick comes in. What it was a horrible start for OpTic turns into you're okay. You have spawns once again for second.
Yeah, you were talking, gas up Surge, talk about the flip. Well, not with Envoy still there. I mean, you love him just staying alive in that spot. The fact he gets 2 kills, now 3, a 4-1 start is great. Now, 1 just spawned all the way in the back. That's going to be Gunless. They're going to have to deal with him. So on Envoy, the game field featured player again to go big, and he does just that. Now 4 in a row, in early control of our next hard point, just around a tie game.
Yeah, they didn't have anyone playing safety all the way back police. That spawns up. Dashy probably thinking he has it blocked, but he doesn't inside. Envoy does get taken down, so not going to find streaks, but they still have control. You have the lead. 30 seconds left, and with the time remaining in the hill, you see Envoy spawn up. He's going to hit the rotation. The Surge are going to try and get the rest of this scrap time. They will find it, but OpTic, they're going to be put in a situation now where they're going to have their early rotation, their early spawns. Can they turn it into a lot of time?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Surge, at least you get a good chunk of time. And you killed Envoy close to streaks. I think Scump was on 4 in a row. You take him out as well. So you make sure there's no added utility for OpTic. But now you're in a similar position where you have to try and find a break. And we've seen some teams break so well here. Is unfortunately for Prestinni, I think he got a dead slide or just didn't get the movement off. He's kind of crouched there and gets caught. But there's Gunless with 2 openers. That'll apply some pressure onto OpTic now, trying to accrue this time.
Yeah, now you just sort of put them in a position, where they're spawning all the way towards your back library. One player spawns out. That was Scump on the hill. Formal is taking down Loony and Gunless. We're going to collapse. Scump off a spawn. You got a 74. And Gunless, he's hitting those shots with the Craig. A 5 spree now for Gunless.
And again, you break about halfway through. This time a little bit earlier in the hard point, but good stuff from Surge. It's just how long can you rely on those breaks? When can you kind of get ahead of these rotations and maybe put yourself in a better spot? But we will keep eyes on Gunless as we get ready to rotate over to street side. If he is able to pick up those streaks, and how big it could be considering you shut down OpTic's chances at him.
Yeah, and just on this map, right? Like where you can open a hill up right here, or P3, what we were just on, if he's able to find it. And as you said, it's kind of what we saw with Røkkr Florida, where it was always Røkkr having to break. But, you break around 30 seconds, you're going to get that time. Here's that gunfight, and Scump wins the big one. Able to take down Gunless. Octane there for the trade, but it's the numbers advantage to OpTic, the hill controlled OpTic.
Stop the streaks, you get the time. What more could you ask for? We'll see if they can push out to some semblance of a lead. I mean, I feel like every time OpTic's gone out in front, Surge have gotten a key break to keep it close, but with 20 seconds left, it's kind of spawns all over the place for Surge right now. You still have Loony on one side of the map, the rest of his team kind of spawning near the last hard point, lurking towards the opposite side of street slowly to focus on that second hard point and maintaining that side through the first. Will be, who's that getting all the way deep? That's going to be Formal getting set up way deep in the backside, but he's got company here in Loony.
Yeah, it's like both teams right now.
Him.
Yeah, nobody's really playing in the hill. You're going to have Envoy inside. But Seattle really focused on this spawn control. Octane and Gunless able to take 2 down. But yeah, they know Formal's back there. I would just leave him. I think you play for the hill right here. I think you just play around the time. You have a 4v3, just leave him out on an island. But they decide to take the gunfights, and now what's happened is you have Formal all the way back here. You have 3 on the hill. This is a great job by Formal, but I think it's maybe you're playing around these spawns a little bit too much. There was still 60 seconds to go on that first hill.
Formal just doing a terrific job. I mean, what? Last time to get this position, it was Envoy making the play. This time, it's going to be Formal getting it done to make sure they secure this time. And it's a little bit cleaner in the sense that they get a lot more time at first, and you get set up for second. Now, maybe do you get a bit better of a hold here, but Envoy, just hold that as he's tossing another one right onto Prestinni.
Every time we hop to him, this guy's getting a stick. Formal with another one-on-one win, up to a 4 spree now. He's been alive this whole time. Not going to have a ton of engagements at times, you know, when you're a main AR on this map, but they are important ones. Formal does get taken down by Octane, but they have a 40-point lead. They have control. Can Seattle Surge once again try to break on through deep into a hill? Nope.
Envoy, the game fuel featured players, is hidden as 3 will go down. He'll keep OpTic in the hard point, and that midpoint break that Surge has been kind of surviving on to this point, they're not going to get. So they're going to need to win this next rotation. They cannot lose the time here in the rotation. And off to the races, I believe it's going to be Dashy. Set up deep will already be Octane, which is not going to be a fun gunfight at all. Yeah, Octane gets set up. He's not going to lose many of those with an AR from it. But for OpTic, it's great. You go up, what, 60-plus points? Now your chance to try and find an opening.
Yeah, you have to respond here if you are Surge. And you see Prestinni's just kind of lurking, able to find kills at the front of the hill. And that's just going to force OpTic all the way out. Deep spawns, and Loony's set up for a bit of a trap. And a bit of an off angle there. They aren't ready for it. Loony's able to take down 2, so that will stagger them. I mean, you're still middle of the map, and look at the time. Already 15 seconds off just from Prestinni and Loony's pressure on the rest of the map. So a very good job off spawn and off rotation from those two. Lock it down, but here comes around that midpoint the second push, but Gunless able to take down another 2, up to 18-8 for Gunless.
And this is very Moscow-esque, right? In the sense of they can be really back and forth, right? We see it all the time, and it usually comes down to what? One major mistake from a team or one incredible play from the other. Every time Surge have gone down, they've had a nice moment. They've kept themselves in striking distance, and they've kept OpTic from opening up a massive lead. So props to what they've been able to do, but I guess it just feels like OpTic have controlled this for the most part, but it's going to be a 15-point game.
Yeah, it's just the breaks. The breaks have kept them in it that they found with 30 seconds left. But yeah, because you have early control time and time again, for OpTic, it feels that way. But that was much needed from Seattle Surge. They had about 55 points off that third hill, and they needed it. But now, again, they're going to need another break. And it's only Prestinni left inside of gold, waiting for his teammates to come off a spawn, and there's some split spawns that come up, so it's going to create this pinch that comes through. Is it the pinch they need? It's looking like it.
Yeah, it felt like, you know, if you're OpTic, you had both sides of street control. You're in a pretty good spot, but the spawns were, yeah, kind of all over the place and not as deep as maybe you'd want them. So they were able to pinch, and they were able to pinch quickly. They get right back into the point. It's another key break for them. You'll be looking at about a tie game if they're able to hold on to the remainder of this. But now we get into that song and dance once again of the battle for the right side of the map. We'll see if any team makes a little bit of a change here, maybe focuses on first a little more.
Well, I mean, the key was Formal was already deep, right? So you had this like 1v1 versus Loony.
That's true, yeah.
And then nobody was on the hill. This time, you have control. You have Gunless all the way through there. The spawns are there. You have Octane and Prestinni on it. So now what does OpTic want to do? They want to force the time? Do they want to take the fight there? They want to focus on the rotation. They have a double push through Eskies. Envoy. Oh, what a gunfight win from Envoy to open that up. And now they could push on through.
I mean, you're hoping that you don't allow Octane to get 1, maybe 2, 0. That is fantastic, but he's right back off spawn and finds 1. Gunless locks it down in mid-map, and they still hold the right side. Like, you thought that might be a chance there for OpTic to get through, but they are onto the point. There's a one-on-one at mid-map. That's going to be Envoy and Loony that are still playing there, but just second by second, this has been some quality time for the first hard point for OpTic.
Every time we have been on board with Gunless, it's been a two-piece. 24 and 12,
He's
double
feasting.
positive. He is playing so well, and the push comes through the back street. He locks it down. He's playing safety with the spawns. Octane looks like he got a bit of a split. The spawns are kind of all over the place right now between both of these teams. Nobody could really regain control. Scump spawns over here as well. Gunless is going to have no idea. What is going on?
Yeah, what, one-time Envoy, one-time Formal. Now maybe Scump's turn to be the hero here at the second point. He gets a little help there. Envoy, you've only got 3 bullets. I don't think 3's enough. Maybe the pistol is up to it, and it is. Hits the shots. Formal over him with the AR, takes down 2, and he goes for his 3rd stick of the game, but that one won't quite hit. But as the dust settles over that chaotic sequence, it's OpTic in the hard point.
Yeah, but you're going to give this up if you're Seattle. I mean, with how well you held that 3rd hill, you're going to go for it. The difference is, though, they don't have map control. You don't have Prestinni all the way pushed up towards the 1st hill. You don't have Loony on that bus street. So this next wave of kills is so important for Seattle. Gunless is going to go down, and he's going to spawn towards the back with the time remaining. Going to try and hold on to that kill cam, but it just popped. It just popped. It just finished. So you see where he spawns. You do have Envoy lurking, but Octane's making sure he has this locked down.
Yeah, I think they had good enough position that, look, Gunless got all the way back. He gets all the way back right as the fights start to ensue, so you don't have that kind of 3v4 situation that could have been so problematic. But maybe having him back is not going to be enough because a lot of these gunfights go in the way of OpTic, but Prestinni, the difference maker there, the read towards the back, just hitting it. 3 kills in a row from Prestinni before he falls, but throughout this, nobody in the point that entire time. Finally, OpTic are able to get in with the back spawns.
Yeah, I mean, that's on Formal taking that long route. He was waiting for his teammates to push, able to get this spawn. But Seattle, Loony, Prestinni, they're able to fight on back. They're at least going to force this to bust. Now OpTic cannot win here. And you have a position where they are spawn trapped by Seattle Surge, and they're going to have to rotate on over. So early on, it's going to be Loony in control. But Scump and Dashy are going to slow things down a little bit. They need to take their time and get this break.
Here we go. 225 for Surge. 241 for OpTic. Will it all come down to this bus side hole? Octane able to hit the shots. Nobody in the hard point, at least for a moment, as the skirmish is going down on both sides. The reinforcements coming from the left for OpTic. Right side hit for Seattle Surge. They're into the point and looking for a lead change. Now just down 5. But our game field featured player, it's Envoy. He finds the pick, able to shoot the feed off a player. 3 will fall for Surge, and OpTic hop on in. Now just seconds away from closing out this map 1, and nobody from Surge can get in. OpTic Chicago take our first map.
Oh, it was a close one. Just so many small decisions on both sides and the situations, the way they played out. But the big thing for OpTic, the way they broke this hill, and that was it. Prestinni finds the kills, but look at that. It's Formal who goes all the way through mid. He takes his time, and with the kills that came in, the deaths of his teammates, he gets his team the spawns, and then from there, they're able to break that hill. They get onto it. Seattle fights back.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just the lead, though. It's the difference maker there.
I mean, we were watching that sequence from Prestinni, and think about it. I mean, the first 2 he killed, you're hoping you get those kills, you're spawning people out and staggering. They spawned up right where he was looking and fighting Formal. They just spawn up in the back. It's like, oh, I got to deal with this again 3 seconds later. So, yeah, fantastic route there from Formal, and I think you can say that about a couple of, I mean, he did that, once on the second set of hard points for a second. Envoy the first time through. There were some key kind of long routes or early routes from OpTic that you can say is the difference.
Yeah, I mean, scoreboard-wise, it's just such a close. It's a 10-point game, right? So, pretty balanced on both sides. Nobody even to 5,000 damage. It looks like Gunless and Octane were the closest, too. But OpTic, it's so many opportunities, so many holds, and yeah, they have that lead. They hold on to it.
Yeah, I mean, that small margin, that small lead they had throughout, exactly. They hold on to it. It's enough to see them through till the end. It just felt like Surge were fighting from behind the entire map, and eventually it catches up with you. But that'll do it for opening hardpoint. Big victory there from OpTic, as unfortunately the pain continues for Surge. Another gut-wrenching map loss, but we head to a quick break. Get ready to Search and Destroy.
I will fight with honor. My weapon brings justice. For the Alliance!
Magic.
Oh, I'm so in.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. The Call of Duty League is presented by Zenni, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Zenni Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting zenni.com/gaming.
Hello, we are back to the London Home Series. We continue on our Game Fuel Marquee match. Look at all 8 players. This OpTic looking to continue on and dominate this matchup. Surge looking to bounce back, but let's get right into our Game Fuel keys to victory. Joe, take me through Surge first.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle Surge, they lose that game or that match versus Los Angeles Thieves. The 2 respawns, 3 and 4, -44 from Loony, Gunless, Prestinni. Gotta be better today. Veto checkmate S&D. They do that. They're 0-2 in their last 2 matches versus OpTic, and might be time to play a different control. 0-7 in control on Raid. They lost it again yesterday. 0-2 versus OpTic. We're going to checkmate map 3.
Yeah, maybe if they play it enough, they'll be good at it, Joe.
It's the definition of insanity.
Yeah, I think maybe, yeah, that might be close to it. But let's look at the OpTic Game Fuel keys to victory now. What stood out for you?
I think Envoy and Scump really need to have a good series to shut down Prestinni. It feels like when Prestinni is playing well, Surge are at their best. Dashy and Formal have really shined versus Surge, +56 in their last 2 matches versus Seattle. And I'm looking at Formal, man. Just how good he was in Stage 2 in Search and Destroy. I think he keep that up in Stage 3. It feels like he's really been a difference maker for them in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I was trying to figure out. We know they improved a lot in Search, but for Formal specifically, it was such a wide jump, right? Like, it's just such a turnaround that I couldn't figure out if it was like improvements in their overall Search game and how they're applying was kind of setting him up, or if he individually has just got a better feel for it, getting to better positions and frying. It can be hard to tell sometimes.
I'm sure it's a mixture of everything. Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, just sort of, right, he probably wants to make some more plays, maybe switch up his positions, get him more comfortable, as well as the repetitions, right? Just help, over and over and over again. I mean, listen, he's Formal. You get him in the right spots, he can shoot real straight.
Yeah, that's always been sort of the definition of Formal, right?
Yes, correct.
Get him to a power spot, he's very hard to kill. Good luck. I'm excited for this Search and Destroy. We'll see how this one gets started. OpTic to the offensive side off the break, and yeah, we'll keep eyes on with Formal at times because he's such a key player in Search and Destroy for them. But we'll be checking out Envoy, our Game Fuel featured player as well, through the course of this matchup. Let's see who can get off onto the right foot, get rolling early. Sometimes that doesn't really matter at all. We saw a lot of swings in our Search from the last series.
And while early, it looks like Seattle was thinking this is going to be a default A hit from OpTic. Formal's going to spot 1. Doesn't see any more than that, but the B side is wide open. Gunless is watching middle. He doesn't even have eyes on B, so they're going to have no idea that this is happening. So this is going to be a big rotation, and they're going to have to make it. Formal is making sure there's nobody on the flank. Gunless up top police. He has no idea where they're at with the positioning. There's the nade, though. Dashy's going to spot 1, and here we go. It's a 4v4 retake.
Here comes the collapse. They look to get the bait and switch on, find the openings. Envoy, he's going to peek and drop first. Opening blood to Surge. Numbers to them. Surge picking him apart. Dashy going to be the last guy up, and there is the retake. Beautifully done by Surge. And Joe, I was going to say, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes I don't think it's like the worst thing if that happens with Gunless, because if you are in like a more aggressive spot or getting more information, like sometimes you get caught and sometimes you get dropped.
Yeah, play the retake.
Yeah, sometimes you get dropped. Sometimes, you know, maybe not having an idea and just taking the 4-on-4 is fine. Like, instead of that more information, that more risk where you might lose a player and then it becomes, you know, that much more difficult to get the round win.
But that just needs, I mean, Prestinni finds 3, but that just needs to be a bit better setup from OpTic. I don't know what happened there, but going into that B site it's a scary one, right? With this sort of, you have the window, you have the doorways. It's not easy to send multiple players through. I think Envoy and Scump both got caught. You want your 74s in good positions in there, at least to find one, you know, force a 1v1, but that does not happen.
And now, somewhat similar, but they've got bomb over here. Loony's just by himself, and that's bomb down on the opposite side of the map. What was that? I don't know if he got a really awkward timing with the jump peak or...
Probably, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. That is, yeah, that can happen. And Envoy's like, well, I'm going to just take this. But even just in general, yeah, bomb over there. Map control was really to OpTic, and they were playing a pretty spread defense.
Well, the fact that bomb was over there makes me think they were trying to sell it to the other side, then wrap back to Loony. But him dying with bomb there and also losing someone mid-map, I mean, that round was over so quickly.
And then Dashy ready for this coup from Gunless. But yeah, I mean, you're jump peeking, and we know how common it is. So maybe if Envoy is just like, I'm just going to take this. I'm going to take the one-on-one. Why not? I know the position that player is going to be in. If I see someone jump peeking there, I pretty much know it's a mid or a B hit. So I'll take the 1v1.
Yeah, I'm guessing he just hugs that right side, just doesn't get spotted. And he takes the gamble, it pays off. But what a start from Dashy. He's 4-1 right now, gets 2 in that last round. But hey, you can see here how difficult it can be. Same thing happens to Formal. You get the jump peek. You feel sort of invincible with if you have a trophy behind that wall, you feel so powerful in that spot. But you're seeing it get dealt with. Great job by both teams. But now Envoy in from behind. Did he stick him again? Nope. No stick that time.
Well, we're playing a retake, but you have the man advantage now if you're Seattle Surge. Scump in that position. Dashy just trying to find a pick, make it a little bit easier. Scump, though, he's behind him. Scump's behind him. If that's the player that's weak from Dashy, maybe that's his second kill. But it doesn't happen. And with the 3v4, you saw both players from, well, really all three. First it was Envoy. It was almost just one at a time. It was never really together. Envoy is able to get one with his position. He's hoping to find 2. Then Dashy's hoping to catch one with that Krig. But they stay together. They trade. They don't let anything bad happen. Yeah, it starts with that first blood.
Yeah, just another strong retake. But granted, yeah, a little bit easier here with the numbers advantage. I mean, Dashy, he probably could have won that one. I thought the shot was just a little off. I mean, not that Octane is an easy gunfight, but he's holding it. I thought Dashy had that one. But it starts to fall apart from there for sure. Octane now, who's put up some absurd numbers in Search and Destroy as of late. He's 4-2. He's rocking 3 in a row now. And Surge want to go fast and hard. Right over to this A point. But the defense is here as well. It's going to be a 3-on-4. Scump wins a massive opening gunfight. Snap back to mid. They're able to pick it up, and it cannot happen that clean. Octane suddenly all by his lonesome as OpTic just smokes them off the site, man down.
And it feels like, I mean, it's just it's a round of defense now, and Scump, here's that trophy. Prestinni flies on through, and Loony, they're just going for it, but it's a blind counter. Neither team has had a ton of success on offense, and when that is happening, when it's such a back and forth battle, you kind of go for the hard counter, right? You make a call. All right, this time I think it's to be a regular A hit for them with what they did last time. In the way we shut things down, so you call it. You're like, all right, let's stack A. It works out.
Well, it works well when they stack, but they don't all stand in a straight line, Joe.
Oof, man. Yeah, that's correct.
Too soon for that?
Yeah, I think a little. Yeah, green wall. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's my bad. That's my bad. All right, so we're tied up 2-2. Tied up 2-2 is a great hold there defensively. Now Loony playing for some information here at the brick wall. And Envoy is just baiting it close. You want to come challenge. You want to hunt him down again. I've got his help this time around.
Well, now he knows about it.
Now his position's given up.
Nice shots by Prestinni there. That was Dashy able to take him down.
Ooh. Was he not back to full health yet, or is that just a double chow? Like, he dropped.
I think, yeah, maybe a mixture of both, but man advantage still to Seattle. Loony, he just repositions, goes back to it. Now it's on the Formal, who would love to have one more bullet to take down Octane. He knows Loony's position. Gunless has not been spotted so far, so he's not sure if he went through the flank or if he goes through the spawn. And now Gunless on the rotation, able to take him down.
Yeah, it was beautiful shots from Prestinni to win that first one, and then, yeah, he just got incinerated. Absolutely incinerated. The second time, I didn't see the headshot marker, so I was like, what just happened to him? But Octane continues his dominance, 6-3 now. And really, I mean, him and Prestinni are carrying the load. They've got 11 of the 13 kills on the Surge side as it stands. But they'll take it to him offensively now, and it looks like they're going back to this where it's the bomb carrier, and Loony is kind of playing by himself on the A side.
In a different position this time, though.
Yeah, but and based on the defensive setup from OpTic, I don't know if that same aggression will be there.
They kind of, I don't think this is a gamble, but they kind of put two players at B just thinking it's a, like B hit. You have one player still at A, and now you just see the rotations, right? It's an information game back and forth. You have Dashy all the way in the spawn, the other two towards the A site. This could be on Dashy. What can he find versus Octane and Gunless? Does he spot what he does? The double chow's coming through. Both players back down.
35 to go. They continue to try and work this bomb plant. And Envoy, he's still just holding. He's not completely sold yet, but with the time starting to dwindle, we'll see when he may start to rotate over. As soon as gunfights go down here. Okay, yeah, here comes the wrap. Envoy's starting to get back into it. Dashy just gets away with his life, but the nade hits. Gunless takes out both, and Envoy, welcome to the blender. He gets there just in the nick of time to be greeted by a Krig. And Joe, I want to save this stat for the next map, but I'm worried that I'm going to forget it. So I'm just going to say it now. You know how you talked about the ridiculous raid stretch for Seattle when it comes to control? They banned Checkmate Control 12 times in a row heading into today. It's the first time banning raid this season. Just to give you an idea of how wild it is that we're finally switching. And I would have loved to save that, but I don't trust my memory at this age.
Well, the first offense goes to Seattle, and I mean, that was just some rough timing for Dashy. He was holding that angle, and then Gunless with the nade. Next on to 2. But Gunless 5 in a row now, so we'll see if he can work some streaks.
Trying to see where they're going to look for this opening. It looks like it's going to be up through Eskies. Prestinni might get caught. He's just able to slide out. He gets into a deep position. There's the nades. They've been so crucial over the course of this, but Envoy will bring it back to a 3 versus 3. That's sight control now. Prestinni's still lurking, just taking damage, but the prone, I thought it paid off, but Envoy able to snap. At the same time, Octane picks up 2, now into a 1 versus 1 as Gunless and Scump last alive. 25 seconds to go, and Gunless is tracking over from mid-map, Joe.
Yo, it's the same round, right? They have not spotted Gunless. He's going through spawn. He's coming through flank. Nope, he's coming up the escalator. Scump able to win the 1v1, a much-needed offensive round win. But yeah, there was just trades back and forth. You only had 2 players here. This was a great job by Octane and Prestinni. Loony hits that nade, but is immediately traded. But then it's a 3v2 on the site. Gunless is all the way across. The nades connect. They play together. They're able to force the 1v1 situation. But it took Gunless a while to rotate. And, well, he ends up getting caught.
Yeah, it's just a lot of times one-on-ones, like, is there, a clutch factor, ice in the veins, all that? Yes, sometimes, I mean, there's a little bit of luck to it, too, especially like when you're Scump. It's like he can be hitting from a lot of different places. There, you get to a good position. You're fortunate. He just comes up looking the wrong way. It's a freebie for the King, and they'll win that round. And we'll see if they can chain together, too, to tie this up at Formal. He's got Gunless on his left. There's the read. There's the gunfight win. 4 versus 2 now for OpTic Chicago.
And that's all on Prestinni, right? Prestinni gets that first blood, they fly to B. Or they fly through mid with Loony, right, playing that position with the bomb. then you're trying to get the trade, and Formal plays his life. That's one of those situations where I think we've seen Formal in the past continue to hold that angle, and the trade comes through. This time, though, he gives it up for a second, re-peaks it when he's full health, gets another one-on-one, and Dashy and Envoy close that round out. But being that mid player, or that sort of B player at times, it is so important to find that first kill, and Formal does it right there.
Beautifully done. Now tied up 4-4. The back-to-back rounds for OpTic. Even us up. We've seen a lot of different hits, offensively and defensively, from both teams. What are we going to see this time out of OpTic? And it looks like we might be back to the B strat. The lone guy there really going to be Gunless, and he has been a playmaker at times this series, but what can he get done? Sees him on the spot. Sees him on the cross, and you'd love to get one.
He's stuck.
Where do you go? Where do you go? You got to get a kill there, or not shoot at all. I just get the call out in. I'm not sure what the best choice is, but that was the worst result.
Yeah, I think he just thinks he has a freebie. Envoy's peeking out wide enough, and then sort of Scump shows up, and a slide comes in, auto-aim drag, whatever it may be.
Well, shooting between two players, that can be so difficult sometimes. Like, just when there's two kind of right next to each other. Yeah, it can be hard with the aim assist for sure, but what did OpTic do off the back of that first blood? They're going to go straight over to an A hit. Nade surging on in, but the trophy just gets down to pick up the final one. Pinch through Eski's not going to work out. Envoy's got that line of sight down. All on Loony. Now all on Octane, and now they all fall. OpTic 3 in a row, up 5-4.
And those rounds with Eris, I think where OpTic is really trying to improve on those man advantages on offense, by getting that bomb down, making sure we're in a tight setup, so we're getting those trades. But yeah, that's it, right? Gunless, he finds one, maybe two. Heck, maybe if he finds nothing, as you said, just waits a couple more seconds, maybe calls out the information to his teammates to rotate. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough position to be in if you're Gunless. You think you have a freebie, you just doesn't go down.
Yup. I said that's just my affirmation that I agree with you, Joe. You're a wealth of knowledge, talent, and just good looks. Keep it going. Woo!
Hey, Smith. You're all those as well.
Thanks,
Times
buddy.
two.
That's a lie. All
Times
right,
two.
well, Prestinni's POV inside the site. Loony will work to get this bomb planted. They need this round win to get us to a climatic round 11. Dashy, though, with the first blood. The first bloods have been so big. We've seen Seattle do a bunch of retakes from this position. Now it's going to be OpTic's turn. Can they take the 4-on-3 retake? The timing has got to be on point with the entries. It looks like it's so far so good. If you go 1-for-1, you're able to take the round. But Prestinni, oh my God, almost gets 3. Now 1 versus 2. 18 seconds on the clock. Can Gunless make the play? He's checking it. What a great angle. He's got Scump. May have just saw him. I think he just spotted him.
Just
they're
got
going to hunt him down. Oh my God, if he gets it, they're good. But Scump puts him to bed before he can finish it off. And OpTic, they take the search and destroy. They go up 2-0 in the series. But my God, that was close, Joe.
Yeah, Prestinni almost makes the play here. And this is what I was talking about, right? When we saw it from OpTic's point of view, that's where you want your 74Us. And Prestinni almost makes the play to force the 2v2. Goes back for another challenge. He has no idea where the trades are coming from. Almost makes the play, but he at least sets up Octane. And it's just it's a matter of seconds, and they hear a mantle up the bus. Gives the call out. They kind of know he has to check that position. He's got another half second. He probably takes down Dashy. They go to a round 11. But OpTic, they clutch it out, and it's just a balanced effort. Look at that. Envoy and Scump with 8. Formal and Dashy with 7. Big plays from really everyone, and it's just that swing round. It was 4-2. That's 4 rounds in a row for OpTic.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, Surge are playing them tough. These have been some close games. It's been a blast to watch, but OpTic just getting these minor edges in key situations where they're able to take the maps. I do want to take a look at our U.S. Army tactical play. It's going to be Scump from round 7. We're going to watch, and this is where that kind of swing round is you were talking about. 4-2 edge for Seattle. This is where the run, the tear starts for OpTic, and they bring it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been all defense, really, besides the one offensive round that Seattle was able to win. And I think, the 2 players here, Prestinni and Octane, they do a really good job in this 3v2. Look at how long Gunless is there for. I mean, he's still at B. He's that middle statue, and they're able to make this, they get 2 kills. Scump's able to catch this. You're hoping Gunless is there at least by now, but he's not. So now that 2v1 is forced into a 1v1. And as we talk about it, it's a matter of timings. It's a guessing game. And Gunless, it's the wrong call. Scump doesn't know if he's spawned, if he's flanked. Is he S-keys? And Scump's like, woo, he's S-keys. I got the kill. And that was the round that gave them that momentum.
Absolutely, but it's been a thrilling series so far. I now am going to go read my missions, and I'm sure I'm paying for my comment earlier with the lined up thing.
100%.
I can't wait,
Yeah.
But we continue on with the control after this break. We'll see you soon.
Not all 5G networks are created equal.
You're simply the best.
T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network.
Beyond the veil lies the Shadowlands.
Where every soul has its place.
World of Warcraft Shadowlands, available now.
This should be fun.
Let's go. Go.
Joe, from what I understand, we're going to show me with a mullet again. We were celebrating
Again, huh?
the 80s. Yeah, I don't know that we needed it once, but we're getting it twice. I don't know if anyone needs to see this, but damn, I would have looked good. The reason we're showing it again is I joked that I thought that Gunless had a mullet back in the day. I remember something that was darn near close to it. I believe he tweeted right after that to me, said, I definitely had a mullet back in IW, and even right now, like, it's not maybe not an exact mullet, but he's had something real close to one for quite some time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when he had that mullet in IW, that guy was a unit. You did not want to mess with mullet Gunless, and that was the best player in the world. That's what that was. Yeah. I see that, smoking my team, I'm like, whoo, I'm going to mullet too. But hey, I mean, my man, I had a great map one, again, just so close for Seattle Surge from, I mean, it's really been a great series, but now the big question is around this control.
Well, let's talk about OpTic a little bit here and how this squad has been faring. They're up 2-0. But we're going to talk about their stats against the top 4 teams and like CDL points. Overall, we're talking like the points leading up to champs and how they fared against those squads. And right now they're sitting at a 3-4 record. Overall map record right around 500 as well. The map's pretty close to that too. What do you think is the single biggest thing for maybe, I don't know, getting over that hump and starting to take more of these wins against the top competition?
Well, I think that's really, I mean, what, Atlanta, they've only played once. So you take that away, and when that was very early on, that was a really close series. I mean, Toronto, I think they've split maybe. The really thing is here around Dallas and NYSL and how many close series they've had with these teams. I mean, they're right there. They're competing. They're back and forth. It's about closing out those close moments like we're seeing here in this series.
Yeah, I think that just shows like how close they are to maybe getting to that point they could win a major. Like they're taking top teams the distance. I think we all know they have the pedigree and the talent to do it. Some minor improvements, and we might be commentating over them in a grand final.
Well, you know, you look at Major 2, they get Toronto, and nobody thought that, you know, we saw the round 1 up. Well, what we thought was an upset. We're like, oh, geez, that's not good. But then Toronto went on to win the whole thing. So you're like, all right, you take that with a grain of salt. And yeah, it's just that Røkkr match, right? And who knows what could have happened as they got going on Sunday.
Oh, that's so true. That was so true. But you were really interested in this control, and maybe for people joining a little bit late, why?
Because Seattle Surge has not been a great control team, specifically around Raid. It is a map they have played time and time again, 7 times to be exact, and they have lost all 7 times. So it's just a matter of we have to pick something else sooner or later. We're finally seeing it here in Checkmate.
Can they see some success? Well, maybe focus on, I don't know, some of the strengths and weaknesses we see from Seattle over the course of this. But onto the A point early. It's progress there from OpTic. Scump just trying to play his time, play his life, let his teammates win gunfights around the map. He's inching closer now to his second bit of progress. I don't know how many Simtexes have been tossed here and not hit him.
He's just dodged all of them.
Yes. There were 7 Simtexes thrown his direction and nothing was hitting him. The guy's a genie.
I don't even know if this is a real thing, but he might have a career in dodgeball after this when he's done playing.
I was hoping you were going to start singing Genie in a Bottle after that. You kind of let me down a little bit.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Not where my mind went, you know? My bad.
Our brains work a little bit differently. Mine works differently than most. That is for sure. But Octane, that tough gunfight really for both people in that one. But the first point done. Now, what can they do at B? This is the difficult part of it. It's Loony from the top rope. Is trying to clear them off of the objective, and he just chows that gunfight, able to catch Formal with the movement. Get in behind one is Loony just dancing all around that mid plane, making plays for his squad.
Yeah, that's just much needed. So they can get plane control, and now for OpTic, we talk about layers, right? Seattle can set those layers up. OpTic are going to have to fight multiple times before they can get onto that point. Trades are coming in, but that's going to be 3 dead. Octane, the last one alive. Trying to find any picks that he can't. Formal just snapped out of him. Takes him down to 29 HP. That was quick out of him. Envoy's just going to try and stop that clock. He gets some progression. OpTic now, they know there's going to be another fight for plane control. Here comes Prestinni. Here comes Gunless.
They get them all cleared out for now. They get them back to spawn. And it just... We got to think about too, like a lot of times with this map specifically, like that, this is where the new rules are really going to come into effect. I mean, this is such a war of attrition, right? Like who could get the most kills, who wouldn't get dominated maybe when they're on the offensive side. But the fact that you got 1 point and 1 point on to B, pretty good work from OpTic already.
Yeah, already 4 ticks, so you know they'll take that. But teams have gotten a lot better on Checkmate offense, and I think
100%.
they're taking their time because they know they have a life advantage. They had a 5 life advantage, now down to 3. I think just trying to force trade scenarios where Seattle has to come to them, and I love it because forcing them to come out of their power positions and fight the objective. And now it's a 9 versus 5. They have the 2 ticks. They're trying to get more progress here, close this round out. And this should do it. Dashy does a great job staying alive, up to a 6 straight. Number 7 gets the streak, stays alive. A big round number 1 for OpTic.
And that's somewhere where you've been on them in the past, maybe about not putting enough pressure on the objective to put pressure on the other team. And there they do such a good job of it. And then you watch Dashy do Dashy things as he just picks them apart one by one like a ballerina with the footwork, twirling all over the place. And Surge have no answer for him. Streaks, and round 1 win.
And this is what we saw yesterday from OpTic. They won the first round. London, though, they responded with an offensive round of their own to tie it 1-1. And that's when London were able to get that round 5 win. So the question now, Seattle, a map you haven't played a lot in matches. Can you get an offensive win? But you do have the streak to work with. And does he not have a cruise missile equipped? So that...
Oh.
might be a problem. He doesn't.
Okay, well,
it does not look like he has one equipped. So
he won't be earning another streak, but as we highlight the fact that he just has the one, we're gonna go right to an Astro Gaming listen-in with OpTic Chicago.
So secret time week.
Absolute secret.
Holding ball right side of the plane. Yo, P2. P2, dead. Someone's back right, one right again. Yeah, 1, 2 by me. One right again. Nothing on the right. He's probably in plane, Sam.
Yo, low plane Sam.
Low plane Sam, dead.
Yo, low plane Sam. Nice. Push up A side. I'm repping back.
There's steps. I'm dead. Loony, there's stairs. He's in plane, Loony.
I'll chop plane.
Yo, A search on A pressure. On A pressure right now.
Is he in plane dead?
One more on A pressure.
Yo, he's
go for midpoint. Go for midpoint.
Yeah.
I'm flashing point. Mating it.
I'll see
I'm gonna help the street right now. I'm helping the street.
Midpoint dead.
Nice. They're side.
Left wing.
Left wing.
And A search. Go in there side.
Left side for sure.
You gotta try to hop it. They're running out of time. He's top gold. Mid silver.
Nice job. I'm going to the right. Yo, low right.
Stack Sam in one garage. One plane step Sam.
Right back into it, and only 20 seconds remaining. Solid defense so far, but Surge have gotten them pushed back a bit, but they can't get picked apart like that. Is Formal slicing and dicing his way through Surge. There's another one, 3 in a row. He's got a cruise missile equipped, so that's good.
yeah, but he doesn't have streaks, so.
Yeah,
I don't know what your point is, but
the potential's there to earn it, Joe. Yeah, maybe 4 in a row. He's getting closer, painting the picture, telling the story.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
The big story is, though, is you have 1 second left. And I feel like Looney's been by himself at this point, just trying to pause the clock time in and time again. Formal is going to find that kill. Octane just gets on B, and he gets off it for, I don't even know, 0.2 seconds, and that's the round. But to listen, and I don't know if you heard it, one thing that stood out to me was Formal. Go from midpoint, which means to me, Maeve, that they've really focused on breaking that zone from the middle of the point and not to be idiots and do something else.
Yeah, no, and sometimes like that, it's like, you know, these players are all so good. They're highly intelligent players. They're in this position for a reason, but it's easy, I think, to lose track of little things or doing the correct thing at times in the mix of a game and just having someone shout it at you a couple times. Just, I don't know, gets that focus there.
Yeah, you spawn up and you don't want to take that long route or that longer route. You want to get right into the mix. You see someone is on that B or A point and you don't want them to get any more. So, you make it a little bit easier for yourself to get right back into the action, but that's not worth it, right? We know the best way for us to retake A is to go from middle. So let's take our time and do it.
And it works. They get a convincing victory there on the defensive side. Big advantage, up 2-0 in the series, up 2-0 in the round count here in the map 3. They did such a good job offensively, and now with 3 down, a chance to do some damage here early. What can they stack on this point? Any bit of progress you'll take, and that's going to be the first part of the objective done on B. They're on A as well, and Surge just scrambling like bugs, trying to get back towards mid-map and clear them off the point. Well, they find a position to do it. Unfortunately, Looney's teammates mostly dropping around him. He's finally able to get in, but that's a lot of B done, and the first bit of A.
You get the 2 ticks. You do regain control, but I just feel like watching OpTic, at least today and on Checkmate, they're just doing a much better job of playing their lives, not over-challenging, challenging things together. And that's one thing we've been critical of them for, but because you were kind of on both points, you don't have the time extension. You have 40 seconds to work with.
It is going to be interesting, though, when we talk about, like, I don't know, maybe the overtime. Like, it's the same thing as getting 1 point kind of right now, right? When you have the 3 parts of progression.
Well, I think with this, yeah, they know that they're going to have 2 defensive rounds in a row. Worst case scenario. That's pretty much it. They know that.
So it's like, not a win, but a small win. Sometimes you'll take the small wins.
Yeah, you take the small wins. 100%. And they might take the big win, too. Chump's able to take down 2. So he's going to be at least able to get on to B. Oh, well, he gets stuck and dodged that one.
We're still here, though. For a moment, I don't know if they get back in time. Envoy will get caught on the cross. So you do get, what, 3 parts of progression. As you said, you guarantee a defensive round for round 5. So you'll be back-to-back defenses and look to close it out. And Surge have got to do something that very few teams have done. Win 2 offensive rounds in a row on checkmate control. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Not really.
I think you still have the artillery on Dashy as well if they need it. But their first defense was perfect.
OpTic look to close it out here. Take a nice 3-0. Get out to a 2-0 start in stage 3. And for Surge, it could be a brutal 0-2 start. I mean, the reverse sweep from Thieves obviously hurts. And then it doesn't get easier. You have this tough matchup with OpTic. But can they show us something special? Maybe rip off these 2 rounds and get it to a hard point. It's a nice opening here on offense. They get the first 3 kills. Right onto A they go. You'll take that.
And well, there's the streak that's coming in. So it gets Loony. It gets that nice start in map position. It gets them out of it. And allows OpTic to retake control of plane. That's where you have Envoy trying to deal with the 2 players off the spawn, and he's able to do just that. At least finds one, so that staggers the push. And now it's just on Gunless, and he's able to stay alive, trying to do what he can. Dashy's gonna be the last one there. Dashy, well, Envoy's there just in time.
I was like, is he gonna run right by him? Now he finds him in the corner as they try to rally across towards mid-map. The next hit coming in from Surge, but Envoy informal with shots on the cross and the battle at bottom plane. They're good.
The time thing now, right? I mean, they did that break is like the perfect break you could ask for, and that's where that artillery comes into play. Just bails you out a little bit, makes it a little bit tougher to find that opening. Can Loony do it again? No. He's able to find the 2. The nade not going to take him down. He's got 9 HP.
9. Oh, it's so low. Another one. They just keep coming for him. He can't dance forever. As the nades finally take him down, but was the play enough to get a point done? There's the second bit of progress. 1 more, and they get that time extension they so desperately need with 24 seconds on the clock, and now the artillery from Gunless. Okay, I didn't even see that one coming. Streak in from Gunless. 8 points secured. Surge still alive.
I don't know when he got that, so that's on us, but he calls it in. He's able to find those kills. Now they extend that time. They have a life advantage up to 4. You see Octane and Prestinni, their positions. They were trying to find some spawn kills or OpTic members jumping out of wood. Instead, they found Envoy. And now all map control to OpTic. You see the spawns bottom right. They have to fight out of this. They are trapped.
And that minute extension is great, but if that minute all gets chewed off of this next wave of push and you've just been pinned for that long, might not matter much, but now they're starting to fan out across the map. Can Dashy win this one-on-one against Octane? He's been playing it patiently, and Octane's been working his way up. Octane, though, gets the better of him from the pillar, but the next 3 kills, it is all OpTic, and you basically get reset outside of Gunless, who's still lurking plane side. But Scump is so far pushed up. Does he have a chance to now end this game?
I think they're just going to leave him. I think that's the right call. Yeah, he gets pushed up towards that platform. But Loony able to find a... Well, he's trying to get onto that B point, but he gets taken down. Prestinni, he's going to slow down, and Loony off his spawn will find Scump. So at least got into a position where you might be able to clutch it up. 6v7 in the lives.
They can do it. They can do it. 6v6 now. Surge are on the point. This is that spot where you get the pressure onto OpTic. They have to soar forward. They're worried about the objective. Second bit of progress is done. Prestinni and Octane working together, but Envoy, the game field featured player, once again making plays. That's 3 in a row. 26 and 18 out of Envoy, and the W through as well. It's a 3-0 for OpTic Chicago as they go big in the final seconds.
Yeah, this is that play right at the end. I mean, you see Formal trying to get an angle, but the 2 players from Seattle do a really good job taking their time, playing together, and then who is it? It's Envoy. It's just like he appears, he takes down 3, and the game is over. That's just what he does. He's so good at it. A great game for them. A convincing 3-0 from OpTic. This is what we wanted to see. You know, they clutched out some two close maps. They're able to win that game 3.
Yeah, and I think that's good because yes is a 3-0 where you just smoke someone fantastic, but I don't know. Part of me feels like getting into some of these clutch scenarios, getting to late into a map, you learn a bit about yourselves. You get put in spots that are hard to replicate, maybe in scrims, and they
100%.
get the win. So some great job and big moments there from OpTic.
Yeah, and now for Seattle, what? I mean, it's tough because you start off 0-2 on a tough week versus LA Thieves, versus OpTic, and you saw the improvement throughout stage 2, but now the conversation starts to come around of like, did they hit a plateau? Was that the best we saw from Seattle in stage 2? Can they get better? Just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's difficult to tell sometimes when someone makes a team change and you see that instant improvement, instant gratification, and that's always the question. Like, what's their ceiling? How much better can they get? And I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it has been tough. You know, you play a Thieves team that's been improving a lot, and you play an OpTic team which you aren't favored over to begin with. But it's tough. I want to see a Surge team succeed, but it's a rough start to stage 3. But let's check out our Scump play of the game. It's going to be Envoy. He was our game field feature player. He had a lot of terrific moments over the course of it. Let's watch one more.
Yeah, it's just right towards the end here. And no, Seattle does a really good job keeping this round alive. Prestinni and Loony find kills. Octane's finessing his life. The trophy comes in and saves him. He hits a nice nade. And then we go on board with Formal. And who is this? Prestinni and Octane. They do a really good job just fitting and switching back and forth, making sure to watch all of these angles. Gunless is coming off a spawn. So he finds that kill and then bang, right? It's Envoy who comes up from the top of the plane. The fight comes in. He knows it's desperation mode. Catches them, able to find 3, solidifies the series.
Yeah, and that wasn't an easy situation. I mean, it was similar to what we saw on the other end. Like, you're on the point, you put the pressure on the defense to get in, but Envoy, he makes a fantastic play. And now let's look at the remaining schedule for OpTic. You see the 2 dubs already on the board. They have Thieves, Subliners, and FaZe. And yeah, I mean, you would argue that the matchups just get tougher from here.
Yeah, I mean, that's it with this group. It is a very difficult group from top to bottom when we saw it come together, because there was a lot of teams that were improving or could get better. And Subliners with their roster changes, Thieves with their roster changes, plus FaZe in the mix. And now for Seattle, start off 0-2, you still have FaZe to deal with.
They have
not
to,
looking
they
good.
They have to beat Subliners or Ravens. They have to.
Well, probably both of them, honestly.
Yeah, no, they need to beat both. Is FaZe possible? It's possible. Anything is, but those two, they got to find W's. They have to, because I think the big one, and it's tough because I would argue that maybe their biggest match of this group was that first one against Thieves. Like that was one where they really needed a victory, because those are probably the 2 teams, maybe with the, I don't know, biggest swing factor to control what's going on with the group. But let's check out how the results have gone down throughout the course of today, in case maybe you missed any of the action. But a nice 3-0 from Guerrillas.
Money Chin.
Yeah, it was good to see Chino involved. I mean, he is one of the most lovable and likable dudes in all of COD esports. I was really excited to see him back in. He's incredible, man. I love the kid. Nothing more to say.
Yeah, great kid. And then Røkkr, they get taken down by the Mutineers. So that was a big one there. But looking ahead for tomorrow's schedule, Sunday, we got some more big matches. LA Thieves versus the London Royal Ravens. And Thieves get off to a 2-0 start. Atlanta FaZe, New York Subliners, the first looking at both of these teams. Atlanta, they want to bounce back. Subliners with that new roster. They announced HyDra today. Then Toronto versus Dallas, 2 of the best teams in the game. And, well, you're going to see a new Dallas Empire. I know that is surprising to a lot of people, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we cast the Final 2 tomorrow. I can't wait. There's a bunch of storylines and changes that I'm really thrilled to see. Some unexpected stuff went down this week. That is for sure. But what wasn't unexpected is OpTic getting the victory here. They're able to take it. They close it out in 3-0 fashion. And after a quick break, we've got Lottie with the King.
Come for adventure. But the Barons wants to break you. Your axe must be sharp. Your wits must be keen. And your heart must be mighty.
I will fight with honor. My weapon brings justice. Why do we fight? The true question is, what is worth fighting for?
It's time.
Magic.
Oh, I'm so in. Hello everybody and welcome to your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Joining me today I have your boy, OpTic Scumpy. He's on the mic. Seth, you guys are looking absolutely incredible heading into stage 3. Now, you're a rare gem for many reasons as a team, but one of them being that you guys have stuck together through thick and thin. And how does that fact alone give you guys the edge over other teams in the league?
Well, first off, I want to say one thing. 0.83 versus Seattle, not my best series. I was not happy with that. But who did I piss off over at the studios to attach a magnet to my body? I need a stat of amount of time stuck in this league because it's got to be astronomical. Every time I'm in a power spot, stuck. And it's like not even a common stick spot. But to answer your question, the team chem's great right now. We've really been working on a lot of things. A lot of people have been wondering why we haven't been streaming our scrims, and obviously people love to watch those. So we've really just been trying to buckle down and just focus on fixing the small things and really making it easier for us to win, because we just don't want any outside distractions. And we had a pretty disappointing stage 2 finish, so we're really trying to turn it around in this stage.
Absolutely. Seth, we'll make sure we get those magnets removed, try and get those researched for you, mate. But I also want to talk to you about map pools, because I think it's been something that has been heavily discussed when we're talking about your team and your strategic dexterity. Has extending your map pool been a focus heading into stage 3 at all?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's just Call of Duty. It's always constantly shifting and trying to improve on maps. Sometimes you'll get better at one map that you're really bad on, and other times you'll be great at a map and just become terrible at it. And it's just really trying to perfect it, trying to go through the rounds, and trying to fix up the simple things that can lose you games in some of these matches, because it really does come down to the wire sometimes. But it's always something that we're focusing on, always trying to improve it. And I think that we've done a pretty good job. We've been throwing some new maps in, and it's probably catching some teams off guard. So I think we're doing a great job so far.
You really are. You really are, mate. It definitely is caught our eye here, but thank you so much. You really are the king, mate. Appreciate your time and best of luck heading back into stage 3.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, there you have it. You've heard from the king himself. Scump has got a lot to say about where the team are at, where they're going, and I'm sure you guys are very happy. Greenwall, love to see it. But don't worry, the night's not over yet, because myself and Nameless, we're going to be on the desk, and we're going to be breaking down everything we have seen today and more. You don't want to miss it, and if you're a real one, you'll stay for the ride.
Why do we fight?
true question is, what is worth fighting for?
I will fight with honor. My weapon brings justice.
The sun has set and the lights are up as we travel over a lovely night sky view of London for the last time of day 3 here at the London Home Series. But we do have day 3's results for you, presented by the US Army. And I promised bangers, and boy did I provide. LAG 3-0, that sweep comes under the rug. Paris stuck under there until next week. Then we got Florida taking it 3-1 against Røkkr. Unbelievable scenes. And just to end the night here, we have OpTic back on form. Envoy looking unbelievable. Scump looking unbelievable. Formal, Dashy, I can name them all. I'm very impressed with what I've been seeing today. And that leads me to ask you, my friend, Nameless, what did you make of that series that we just saw before our very eyes?
Yeah, it was a great performance by OpTic Chicago. They played fantastic throughout. Envoy, now back-to-back series, has been the best player on the team. And that's what we were looking for. Clearly, in their practice, he's gained so much confidence. He's quicker on his pinches. You know, criticized heavily sometimes from hardpoint for, you know, hitting that pinch and taking too long. Well, now he's getting behind them quick enough, picking up those big kills. And you know, it comes down to the wire. And there's been a few times where at the very end of hardpoints, we've seen OpTic Chicago struggle and fall apart. And actually right here, you saw Surge have control of this hill. OpTic actually break in, they regain control. They hit him with sort of a pinch, 2-player spawned on the street, and then they end up funneling through the back here, winning these clutch gunfights. Envoy right here, putting some shots underneath the car, gets the kill, they get inside, and they close it down. Go into the search and destroy, they win that, have some great reads, some great rounds. The final round where, you know, they put the punch in the face was when Scump and Dashy were in that 1v2 versus Gunless. He had the angle on the bomb, they timed it perfectly, right? That's teamwork and communication that wasn't there that has gotten fixed. But I want to flip the script real quick for 1 second, talk about Surge. It is time for them to make a roster change. Loony did not have the greatest series. People have been talking about him, and he does bring a lot to a team. But these guys, they have to make a change. They have to go to the challenger scene, find a guy to come in and fill that void and be the spark for them, because you have to start winning these matches so you can make it to playoffs. And right now, it's not looking so good.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more there, and I think there's a lot of teams that have been making changes. And talking about those changes, Nameless, I got to ask you from your point of view, you know, we've seen it time and time again where a rookie comes on into a new team, gives them a fresh start, or even somebody who has been previously a professional player but has come off a bench and has come back into the league, and they also provide a fresh start, and they are playing out of their damn minds to the point where you can't take your eyes off them. The stats are just screaming their name. So I want to know, at what point do we see these kind of rookies or these, you know, new performances coming onto a roster start to lack a little bit and leave that line behind and potentially blend in with the rest of the team? Where and why?
Yeah, you know, we always talk about when a player comes off the bench or comes from challengers in that first match, and we're like, there's just so much pressure on him to go big and have a big performance, where it's like, that's where I feel there's the least amount of pressure, because you're coming in, you haven't hit any adversity with any teams yet, you're just coming in trying to have a big game, and typically these guys do it. They're really amped up, really excited, and they have a huge debut performance. You've seen it on multiple players this year. But when you get into that practice and things aren't going your way, or you start to lose maps, and you have to figure out what you're doing wrong and change your gameplay a little bit, that's when you see players start to struggle. And the great ones, they make it out of that and they continue to play well. And some of the other ones, they start to blend in, like you said.
I totally feel you there. Do you know what? Right now, I'm so impressed with the people that are coming in and giving these rosters a new breath of fresh air. It's pretty incredible, to say the least. But I'll tell you what is pretty incredible, and that is our schedule for tomorrow, because bangers. I tell you every time, but we don't deal with anything other than bangers in the Call of Duty League. I'm just saying it right now. We got our schedule presented by the US Army. It is going to be the final day of the London home series, and we're starting things off with the London team themselves taking on LA Thieves. At 4:30, we got FaZe. It's going to be meeting the New York Subliners, and our game fuel marquee match is the ultimate banger, I may say.
It is.
Ultra versus Empire.
Storyline.
A huge, oh yeah, storyline. We could write a book at this point. I mean, it's unbelievable. But we've got to talk about it, obviously. Nameless Empire, Hook. First time we're not seeing him play in the Call of Duty League. What is this team right now going to look like without Hook and obviously bringing FeLo on board?
Yeah, I kind of have a hot take on this one. I think they're actually going to be better in the short term, but their ceiling is going to be lower in the long term. I think FeLo's going to come in and he's just going to do whatever they want him to do, right? Like he's going to run engineer if they need him to do it. He's going to run whatever gun they want him to run. Like he's just going to come in and fit the mold of the squad, and I think it's going to help them a lot. You hear them talk about, at times they feel lost on the map. They felt like they weren't progressing. Well, now you have a guy who's just going to listen to all three players on this squad and do what needs to be done. He's going to be a sponge. And it's going to be very helpful for players like Shotzzy, Crim, and iLLeY, man. They're going to be able to, bounce off of him. And I think it'll be a lot easier because in Search and Destroy, FeLo, great player. He has roots there, and he's hungry. He's been trying to get back into the Pro League for a very long time. I think it's been like 3 years maybe since he's seen a pro match. So this is going to be a really big first game for him tomorrow going up against the defending champions. I couldn't be more excited.
I am very excited for FeLo also. I think he's gonna come on board, and I have no doubt he's gonna play exceptionally well. I think, being perfectly honest, just mainly talking about Hook and the impact that will have on the team with him not being there, I think this team will look a little bit less impactful. I do. I've just got to say it now, it's nothing to do with FeLo coming on board in terms of him and how he plays, because he's not in the same role. But I do think that this team will be missing a game changer, that is for sure, and I think they will start to really see that and feel that without Hook there. But I tell you what, Nameless, I have been told I have a little surprise to share with everybody, and yourself as well.
Let's see this.
We love surprises here at the Call of Duty League. We always give a surprise at the end. So who wore it better, guys? I need your opinions as well, so please get involved in chat. Oh my God.
I don't even know. I'm leaving this to you, Lonnie. I love that Gunless. I love that Gunless is just on there randomly. He looks the best.
Tagged on the edge.
He 100% looks the best. It fits
Oh
him.
my God. I haven't seen this yet, so this is a real shock to me. And if you know me, I cry when I laugh, so excuse the tears. But oh, it's rough. This is a tough decision.
Yo, we look like a team in Space Jam.
You know what? I'm gonna give that to Gunless. It looks like he nurtures that mullet really well. It looks like he combs that every day, and it's his baby. So I'm gonna give that one to Gunless. Gunless, you wore it better, man. You wore it better. Nameless, absolute OP. Thank you so much for joining me once again on the desk. And folks at home, thank you so much for tuning in yet again. But don't worry, another day is dawning here at the London home series. Tomorrow is the last one, so make sure you are here for it. 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Good night, have a great rest, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.